Very recently, I made a video talking about how good lore is for a game. It builds up stories that give you an understanding of why the character does whatever it is they do. It adds a new type of fun to a game where you can discuss theories and be excited for new reveals that add to the story. And it adds this life to a game that might not otherwise exist. Generally, it's a pretty good thing, which is why I was wondering, where is the lore, Paragon? Where is it? As a game that is constantly updating and changing while the creators improve upon it to find that sweet spot for the game to sit at. Putting in little stories for characters and voice work isn't anywhere near the top of the list, and I totally understand that. And so when I made that video, I really didn't think any form of lore or story would make it in game for a very long time. And then suddenly, we got lore. Hell yeah, dude. Now, I will pre-warn you, it is very bare bones, but even so, it's a really great thing for the game. Let me show you just what they did. Quite simply, each character now has a few little details about their lives, personalities, and random tidbits of info to do with them. Not much at face value, right? They do have a bit of humor, which is great, but it's not really a backstory, and it promises no voice acting or dialogue from the characters in or out of game. But here's the key difference. If we look at Richter's little lore and background, we see inmates learn to listen for the sound of the chains, enjoys soft music during long torture sessions, and has a true passion for the detention industry. Before, wow, look at Richter. He's like a man made out of chains, potentially a cyborg. What's that thing in the middle of him? Some sort of powering thing? If I kill that, will it kill him? Maybe, I don't know. Could he be a bounty hunter because he likes to hook people and pull them to him? Could be, could suit him. I have no idea. After, we know that he has some history with cells and prisons. We know that people who are in these prisons, inmates, are afraid of him. He might be a warden or a guard for some sort of high-tech facility or space prison. We also know that he's not the nicest person because he enjoys torturing people. It's a pastime of his. And because he also likes to listen to relaxing music while he does it, he is obviously very intimate with torture. And we know that he really likes the detention industry. So the dude is a big fan of prisons. He's a big fan of torture. He's not the nicest guy. He's got something to do with like space prisons or something. Now we actually have something. Now we have an actual place to start our little theories. Now we understand motives a little bit better. We aren't completely in the dark with almost nothing to go on. We actually have information that we're presented in a nice little way. This is ideal for the game. This won't have taken them a huge amount of time to set up. It gives us who are interested in lore what we wanted, and they can continue to focus on what they need to, updating and improving the game. This was a great solution and one that I didn't expect. Here's the theory. I made a video about where is the lore in Paragon, and the game got lore shortly after. Are these two events linked and directly related?
No, probably not, no.
Yeah, but I can lie to myself if I want to. Okay, so at the moment, the total of characters lists at 20 in Paragon. So let's go through all of their backstories and see what we can learn about each character. First up, we have Decker, and her background says that she holds the record for the most entries in the Exotic Locals Codex. I guess she's a collector then. She's respected by all, feared by many, and loved by two. Oh, right then. So she's very popular and has a secret obsession with low-budget holovids. So that tells us that she's a collector, she's well-known, and she has, I guess, two lovers. I wonder if they know about that. Feng Mao has a bit more of an interesting backstory. He once ransacked an entire village searching for his pipe. Apparently he loses his temper very easy, and he's very attached to his possessions. He's never worshipped the Jambaka despite the pleas of his parents, so he goes against the gods of his tribe or parents. Finally, he denies the rumor that he lost 3 apprentices in a single day. Wow. Okay, so he's unreliable as hell, but also he's training apprentices. He's actually sharing his knowledge of combat. That's pretty cool to learn about. Then we have Gadget. Has a not-so-secret gambling addiction. That's not so good. Enjoys the company of machines more than people, and is undecided about androids. Yeah, they're kind of in between. And joined the... what is that? The Mechanica at 15. And left it at 16. Okay, so that could tell us two things. She's extremely talented and joined some sort of group that's maybe based around engineering and learning engineering, and left it really quick because either she's super smart and didn't need it, or she has an attitude problem, which, based on the previous things, the gambling addiction and, of course, the company of machines over humans, might be the case. Maybe she just couldn't stand the people around her. What it does tell us, though, is she's very smart. Ah, Gideon, Mr. Evil. He believes limits are for the meek. Fair enough. On his 6th birthday, he witnessed the death of a star and fell in love. Right, we know he uses cosmic energy and uses space and manipulates that. So apparently his obsession with that nature of magic began at just the young age of 6. Finally, Decker suspects Gideon is not his true name. That's cool to see. We have a link between two characters here, a direct link, and that he's not trustworthy as well. Greystone. He's ran from every fight until he lost it all and stood up. Well, there you go. He was a coward until he eventually finally built up the courage to fight. He's imprisoned Sparrow many times. Now, we've said that he might be her uncle, but why would he imprison his niece? And finally, he keeps a lock of black hair in his boot, but no one knows why. Hold on. Question. Yep, Decker's hair is black. Now, we know she has 2 lovers. Could it be that Decker is Greystone is one of Decker's lovers? Maybe. Next up, Grim X. Grim won X in a crooked game of bone dice. Instructions were not included. Well, apparently, if you can fucking look at him in combat, man, like, they don't need those instructions. X is able to extrapolate 73.2% of Grim's speech, so they understand each other, but not fully. Finally, since he acquired X, all of Grim's debts have been forgiven. Wow, Grim is a shady individual, will not be paying his debts, uses power to his advantage. Grux has crushed the skull of every challenger in his tribe, still cannot defeat his grandmother in single combat, and seeks the forgiveness of his gods. Okay, wow, so he has gods, he respects them, and he's done something that makes him regret it so much that he desperately tries to have the gods forgive him for what he did. But also it tells us that this tribe that he is with, kind of like orcs from World of Warcraft actually, is really based around combat and being the strongest. And even in their old age, apparently his grandmother is still very deadly. How it's published an article on grenades, theory, practice, and aesthetics. He has a deep obsession with explosions, apparently. He's been charged with destruction, mayhem, and defacing public property. Finally, he installed a humidor in his mech. I had to Google what a humidor is. It's apparently a little box thing. It keeps like cigars in. It makes sense. He's always smoking one. Look at him. Next, we have Iggy and Scorch. Both were cast out as runts. Suits them just fine. Scorch once ate all the Molotovs, passed out and burnt down an orphanage, and Iggy thinks he's a dinosaur. Scorch disagrees. Well, okay, they both seem mentally challenged a little bit, but they suit each other very well. Now this one I'm excited for. Kalari. Some believe she kills for pleasure. Some believe she kills because she must. Some believe neither of these things are true. Well, shit, that gives us nothing. Man, what the fuck? Chimera. Dwelled in the jungle, alone, since the age of 13. Has been worshipped as a vengeful nature god, and he does not speak unless he must. So he was abandoned in the jungle and had to survive and thrive in there, and that's sort of left the man behind, and now he's like this thing. But that actually gives us information about Agora. There was someone who actually lived there even after its abandonment, and it sort of corrupted them and turned them into this beast. Murdoch. He hasn't worked with a partner since the incident. Alright. Never mentions his wife, apparently he has a wife, and once suspended by Lieutenant Bellica for hiding stun traps in a lavatory. So he served in some sort of army or military, and he keeps all information very close to his heart. Muriel apparently has quite the background. Long ago requested that her personality module be rewritten, but no longer knows why. Whoa, holy shit, we had a theory last time where Muriel might be a person in a suit. No, she is confirmed a robot, because her personality module just isn't working. She must be a robot or an android. Has had many jokes explained to her and has diligently noted that they were humorous. Okay. She doesn't understand jokes. Can see infrared and ultraviolet, but not a full human spectrum. Yeah, I'm going to go with that she's an android. That's a really good bit of information there, because again, last time we were saying, I wonder if it's a human in a suit. No, that is just her form. Rampage. He prefers a raw diet, enjoys camping in the wilderness, and is a gifted storyteller. Wow. So he's not like just a crazed monster running around. He is capable of thought, and he's happy to communicate with others and tell stories. He just prefers to be in the wild. But we do know that he was once imprisoned in some form because he has a chain on his arm, as you can see, and he broke away. We have Richter. We just went over him. We know that he is fond of cells and prisons and is some sort of ward, probably. Sephiroth, this is what I'm excited about. He waits in the dark with timeless patience. He does not sleep, and he looks forward to the signs that herald his end. Wow, so he doesn't even like himself himself in any form. He wants to be destroyed. He doesn't want to exist. But nonetheless, he hunts and he kills. Weird. Here we go. Sparrow. I'd like the explanation here for why she was imprisoned. As a child, she practiced the bow until her fingers bled, then practiced some more. Has been imprisoned many times and loves the hunt more than the kill. So she seems to be a good-natured person and is very dedicated to her craft. Why was she imprisoned by the previous coward, Greystone? Maybe for her own protection. Or maybe it links to Richter, who was some sort of prison ward or guard. Maybe they know each other. Steel understands the concept of mercy, just not as it applies to him. So he's ruthless. His first memory is the bay doors opening in low orbit. Who's dropped onto a planet, maybe the one with Agora on it. Though many follow, he denies being a leader. So he's ruthless, but he has respect from his peers. Okay. The newest hero, the Fae. She believes the purpose of all living things is to die and feed the land. Jeez. Okay. She was also more curious than the other Fae, so she was chosen. Chosen for what? And she loves all of her, quote, children. She reminds me of Poison Ivy, actually, a little bit from Batman. I'm assuming her children are like all of the flowers. And finally, the last character, Twin Blast. He denies any affiliation with the Yingmei cartel, but drinks on their tab. Seems like he's a hired gun. He's talked his way out of at least 5 executions. Okay, so he's a hired gun and apparently seems to be like a Han Solo type character. And he's pretty sure that he's a father. Oh my god. Worst dad ever. Yeah, right? Wow. There's actually a lot you can get from short messages like this. I'm really pleased by it all. We still have the big question of, you know, what is the map we play on? It's called Agora, but why are we fighting here? But, you know, hopefully we find the answer to that in the future. Thanks for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. More Paragon stuff in the future. I do hope you guys are enjoying and celebrating the open beta, because as of the 16th of August, everyone can play, so it's nice to have a lot more players in the game at last. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.